Hi, guys.
Hey.
Welcome to Real Estate Roundtable with me, Andrea, and Becca.
Hey, guys. What's up?
We're from the Shane Wilson RE/MAX Select Realty team, and we handle the Northwest Georgia area and the Chattanooga area.
The ladies of the Shane Wilson team are back.
For 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah. I know you missed us.
So we're back.
So we're back. We knew it was going to happen.
So this weekend is Mother's Day. Just a friendly reminder from us. This Sunday is Mother's Day, so you need to be on your A game, guys. Get something for your wife. Get something for your mom.
Yeah, breakfast in bed, flowers. Jewelry is always appreciated.
Jewelry is always a welcome gift in my home.
Yeah, me too. You know,
Jewelry, flowers, a day at the spa.
Something.
Just don't forget about mom.
Yeah, they do so much.
Yeah, like carry you around for 9 months.
Yeah.
That's really enough.
Yeah.
So, Becca, what are you doing for Mother's Day?
We said all that, and I'm not doing much because we're going down to the beach later that week. So I'm going to do stuff with my mom like a week late. So we're going down to the beach. We're going to go cooking. We like cooking together, shopping, preparing for that. And I'm going to spend like 2 days with her before we leave. So that's going to be kind of our Mother's Day thing.
So you're doing Mother's Day, but not like on Mother's Day.
Yeah. It's going to be Thursday or Friday later.
Okay.
So, yeah. We do weird
things. So beach and cooking with mom, those are also good things.
Yeah. We enjoy it. We're trying new healthy recipes. We're trying this whole new healthy lifestyle. So we're just going to go to the grocery store and try a bunch of new stuff. So it'll be fun.
That's fun. Just spend time with your mom.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what you do. She just wants to spend time with you. Exactly. So what about you? What are you doing for Mother's Day?
For Mother's Day, my sweet, sweet man is taking me to Barnsley Gardens, and we're going to do a day at the spa. And then just do like dinner afterwards and go home. And then Sunday, we're going to, at our house, do a cookout and invite my mom and my sister over. And we'll have all the kids. And it'll just be like a fun cookout.
That'll be great. See, now that's a good gift because he gets a massage too.
Yeah, but I get to be next to him. Yes. So I'm happy.
Yeah. So it's something for you two to do together.
It's time for It's a
couple's time.
A couple's time.
Mm-hmm.
Couple's time.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Love cookouts. Love when all the kids and all the parents get together.
Yeah, everybody's
so
there.
Much
It'll
fun.
Be fun. And then I love Barnsley Gardens because if you've not been, guys, and you're in Northwest Georgia, check it out.
Need to check that out.
Okay, so today on our show, we're going to talk about the 11 reasons why you should not try to sell your home yourself.
Mm-hmm. There's always stories. We've had some horror stories, so we'll kind of give you those rules, those recommendations,
and tell on the way.
Yeah, you'll get some fun, juicy stories. So stay tuned for that.
So I found this really neat article last night for 11 reasons why not to sell your home by owner. And the number one reason, and Becca and I were talking about this before we went on the air, the number one reason not to sell your home is because by yourself is because scams happen. Mm-hmm. And it's so scary. It's even, we'll tell you a few stories, but it's scary to sell your home yourself. And then it's scary to try to buy a house for sale by owner because you really don't know what you're getting into. So I'm going to let Becca tell you a few scary scam stories that have happened on for sale by owner properties.
So the biggest scam that I've seen recently is that the scam artists will take a home that's actually for sale, put it on Craigslist or online, and say that it's for rent. Yes. And they'll say, I'm out of town, like I'm in New York or I'm in Miami or somewhere where it's extremely difficult for them to get into town. So they're like, I can't let you into the property until I have a deposit to know that you're serious, because I'm not going to fly all the way down there for, a non-serious renter. So what they'll want you to do is send them like $500, and then they'll be like, okay, I'll send you the keys, or then I'll meet you at the property and show it to you. That's a scam. Anytime they want money before you see the property, it's a scam. So don't do that. Call an agent. They can look up the name and see if the person you're talking to is actually the owner of the property.
It's always best just to have an agent representing you for so many reasons, for safety reasons, for scam reasons. It's just better to have an agent who can do the research and tell you, is this property actually legitimately listed? And is the person who's representing themselves as the owner actually legitimately the owner?
And there are some telltale signs besides wanting money before viewing the property. I've noticed with scam artists, because I was looking to rent in the past, and I'd reach out to somebody and I'd be like, okay, hey, can I see this property? Can you tell me more about it? If they start emailing you back with long-winded life stories, somebody's in the hospital, somebody's trapped somewhere else, somebody, they need the money now so they can help their family and they'll do right by you, they promise, that's, another sign that it's a scam. And just stop talking. Don't respond. Don't do anything. Just stop talking to them.
Another sign that it's a scam is a 1-800 number. That's always a red flag. Your local real estate agencies will have local numbers. Even if you're in the Dalton area and you see 423, that's a safe number because it's still our neighbors in Chattanooga. And if you're in Chattanooga and you see 706, it's still a safe number because it's your neighbors. If it's a number you don't recognize, a funny area code, a 1-800 number, just stay away.
Some agents do have 1-800 numbers for like information on properties, but they'll also give you a local number with that 1-800 number. They won't just ever give you the 1-800 number because that's not the best way to reach them. And they always want people to be able to reach them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Moving right along. That was number 1. What's number 2, Becca?
Liability is on the seller, which is true. When you have a for sale by owner, you're taking on more liability. You're taking on more risk. You're taking on more work. A lot of the agents kind of take care of that for you. It's such a regulated system where it's a lot more secure. All real estate agents have insurance. As a real estate agent, we're part of an association.
And we have to carry the arrows and insurance or we can't keep our license.
Yeah.
Becca and I have it in both Georgia and Tennessee. We carry both insurance policies.
So you'll have more liability on you if something happens, something goes wrong, there's more risk involved.
So listing your property really takes the liability off of you as the homeowner and puts it back on the agent if something goes wrong. And the agent has the insurance to protect themselves, to protect their franchise, and to protect you if something does happen to go wrong.
And we're not talking about just like somebody tripped and fell in your home. And
which is another liability.
Yeah, and they can tell you it's like handling the paperwork. It's a lot of legal documents, especially this past year. The federal regulation has created so much more that you have to go through to buy a house to help prevent scams, to help protect people, that if something is done incorrectly, you could risk losing a lot of money.
Yes. And, we're trained in this, we're trained over and over and over again on how to do these documents. We're continuously educating ourselves, number 1, because we have to, and number 2, because we want to get the job done right. So we're familiar with this paperwork. We know what it looks like. We breeze through it easily because we do it so often, where if you're trying to do it yourself, you're not familiar with the paperwork, so you don't know exactly what you're doing. You may miss a piece of paper that you need. If the home's older, it doesn't have the lead-based paint exhibit. Where do you get the lead-based paint exhibit? Where the agent will already have all of this ready for you.
Yeah, we have easy access to all those files. We can just go online or to our association website, download them, fill them out. Super easy for us. So that's one way that we help. And kind of it goes right down into number 3, paperwork is daunting. There's so much paperwork.
Okay, an offer is literally like 14 pages.
Yeah, it can be anywhere.
That's just the offer.
And then you have the disclosures, the disclaimers, the FHA addendum. But if you don't know what that means,
you definitely need an agent. If you do not know what an FHA addendum is, if you do not know what a seller's disclosure is, you don't need to sell your home by yourself.
And it's fine to not know this. Most people don't. That's why you want to talk to a real estate agent, because we deal with this stuff every day, multiple times a day. So, and if you're not in real estate actively, if you're not an investor or who handles this stuff all the time, you're not going to know this stuff. This isn't your area of expertise. So it's fine not to know. And we're happy to answer any questions, help you out in any way. I always say, call me, text me if you have any questions. We want you to be comfortable and happy and understand everything that's going on. And with these legal documents, with this lawyer speak in them, we've had classes on explaining
multiple classes,
explaining to us this legal jargon and what it means. And it can be very daunting if you haven't had that training.
Moving on into number 4. Sellers can get stuck in a bad deal.
Mm-hmm.
Give us some examples, Becca, of how sellers can and do get stuck in bad deals.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
I've got a great example.
Yeah, you go first and then I'll go.
We got a listing, this was last year, and it was for sale by owner. And they were an older couple, and they didn't know the market. They didn't understand the market. And they were selling their house tens of thousands less than what the market was requiring for it. So she calls us and she's like, I've signed this agreement with this guy that wants to buy my house. But we just got an appraisal back. I think they were selling it for like 110 or something very cheap. She said, but we just got the appraisal back and it's 180. Well,
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. That's about 70,000 you're losing because you didn't know the market. Now you're stuck in that contract, and that's 70,000. I mean, they were at retirement age. That's 70,000 that could have been in her pocket, but she was stuck, and we couldn't help her. We sent her to an attorney. We couldn't help her. Mm-hmm. The attorney couldn't help her. Unfortunately, she ended up having to sell the property for the 110 that they had agreed upon, even though the appraisal came out at 180.
Yeah.
So it's just unfortunate that you can get stuck in a bad deal like that, or, even you can verbally say something to somebody that's kind of binding. Like you can say, oh yeah, I'll throw in the pool table, or, oh yeah, if this breaks, we'll fix it. And you're kind of stuck in that, where if you have an agent, we don't do anything verbally. It's all written down. It's all spelled out. So everybody knows what everybody's responsible for. But it's just very important if you hire an agent up front, we're going to price it up front. We're going to tell you what we feel the value is up front. And if you are going to include things with the home, like the curtains, the refrigerators, if there's a pool table or whatever, if you're going to include that, it's all known up front. It's not last minute add-ins.
Yeah, and that kind of goes along, excuse me, with my experience too. Sellers, and this kind of goes straight into 5, sellers have it priced incorrectly often because they'll use Zillow or Trulia.
There's estimate.
And I don't know, it may be different in other cities, but in Chattanooga, Zillow is not connected with our MLS system.
Zillow's not your friend.
It is not updated every 15 minutes. It is not accurate. Agents have to physically go in and change that information, change the sales price, put it under contract. And a lot of times they don't. We're busy, and it's unfortunate, but that's the case. Or they'll forget to take it off the market if it sells. They'll update it in the MLS system, but they won't update it in Zillow. So Zillow's not accurate here. And so you're not going to get an accurate sales price. So you'll end up pricing it too high and it won't move, or too low and you lose out on a lot of money.
So it's best to get an agent. If you, just for an example, if you were going to list with us, who I feel like you should list with.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will do a BPO for you, which is a broker price opinion. We're all licensed affiliate brokers, and we will give you our price opinion, where we will compare it to sold houses and on the market houses and give you what we feel like is a fair price for your home. It's not technically an appraisal, but it'll get you close enough within a few thousand that we feel like we can maximize your profits, or put you back down to reality and make you realize
the house
it's not that much.
You want the house priced correctly, because if you have it priced too high, you're going to get buyers who are in a higher price range and expect something more for that dollar, and it won't move. And the buyers who would have loved that house
can't. Missing out on it.
Yeah, they're missing out on it. It doesn't show up in their searches because it's above their budget. Because everybody goes in and the first thing they do is, I'm willing to spend this much, and they put that dollar value in for their max search results.
And what I've noticed a lot, I don't know if you noticed this in Chattanooga, is if somebody gets a hold of an agent that's told them, hey, this is grossly overpriced, and you bring it down, $20,000 to where it should be, the buyers then question the property. They're like, well, what's wrong with it?
Yeah.
Why has it been on the market so long? Why did the price drop so much? And you can't really say, well, it wasn't priced realistically, because then the buyers had something's wrong.
Yeah.
So then it's harder to move. So you really only get one shot at pricing it right.
When that happens, I have so many calls where I say, hi, this is Becca with Remax. And they're like, what's wrong with the property? That is
the first words.
question.
Yeah.
It's like, hi, I'm interested in such and such property. What's wrong with it? It's been on the market for almost a year.
Yeah.
It's dropped in price 5 times or something like that, or it hasn't dropped in price at all, or it had a huge jump. What's wrong with it? Why hasn't it sold? Why are people not interested in it? And is Shane texting us right now?
He is. Shane's texting
Shane is
right
not
now.
here, and he knows we're on the radio, and he's texting us.
I'm texting him back.
It's like we're working right now, Shane. So, and that's the first question. You don't want buyers asking what's wrong with your house. That's a half of buying a home is the mindset. And I think we have mentioned this before. The mindset of somebody who, when they walk into the property, can kill or make a deal. If they're going in thinking what's wrong with this, they're going to look at it completely different than if they go in and are looking at it like, can this be my dream home? And that makes a difference. All right.
So we're going to move on to number 6.
Did we cover number 5?
Okay, number 5 is saying that your house will sell for less. It could possibly sell for less if it's price strong.
Yeah, because by the time buyers are interested in it, usually sellers are desperate to get it sold,
Yes.
so they'll take it for less. They'll they'll be like, okay, I'm just ready to be done with it. Where if you have an agent, we handle a lot of that frustration. We get it priced properly so it's not on the market forever. So by the time a buyer comes along, you're not completely exhausted and frustrated and done with it. And that way you can kind of keep negotiations going and get a fair price and more money. So you end up actually saving money with a real estate agent, or gaining money in the long run, and time and money and everything, because time is money, right?
Because every day, every week, every month, your house sits on the market. Not only are you paying more on your mortgage, you're paying utilities, you're paying property taxes, you're continuing to invest into this property that you just want to be rid of. So an agent can move it a little quicker for you and can probably move it for a higher price for you.
And heaven forbid you already have another home that you've bought, and then that way you're paying 2 mortgages, which most people can't afford to do for very long.
Or worse, if you're trying to buy another home and it's contingent on yours selling.
And you can't buy it because your home isn't under contract yet. If you do buy a home contingent upon the sale of another property, they want the new sellers of the home you're trying to buy want to see that your old home is under contract and is going to close in a reasonable time, so that they can move and probably buy another home. It's a chain reaction.
So moving on to number 6, for sell by owner, like we just said, spends more time on the market. Our average time on market right now, just for our general area, this isn't our team statistic, this is the area statistic, is 38 days, which is very impressive. I don't think you can put a for sale sign in your front yard. Maybe you can, and sell it in 38 days, where I feel like our team could, because we're going to list it on multiple outlets that all the other agents and all the other MLSs see. Or if you just put a sign in your yard, you're going to miss out on a lot of agents that are already working with buyers that may already want your home.
And plus, there's something like 26,000 real estate agents in Chattanooga.
Oh, is that all?
I know, right?
I think there's like 200 in Dalton.
Yeah, so I can't remember the exact number. There's a ridiculously large amount of real estates in Chattanooga. And so when you list with an agent, you have all of those agents can see this home easily, and it's going to pop up on their search
constantly.
And they're going to bring their pre-approved buyers, because I don't know many agents who will show around a buyer before they're pre-approved for a loan.
Not me.
So they're going to bring their pre-approved buyers to this house. So you not only do you have just the buyers themselves looking for a home, you have their agents. So when you list with an agent, you're actually appealing to a larger market of potential buyers.
And Becca, I don't know if you've ever done this, but I've been showing a house to a potential buyer, a client, and when they're there, I can kind of tell they're not feeling the house. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I've got somebody. Like, I've got somebody else for this house.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. So just when an agent brings a buyer to your house to show them the house, maybe it's not for that buyer, but I promise you, I know at least just this year, at least 10 times, I've shown a house to somebody. I've been like, this really isn't the house for them. This doesn't really fit their needs, but I know I've got another buyer for this house.
I did that on Saturday. I met some brand new buyers, never met them before, showed them a house. And while I was there, I was texting another buyer and sent them a link to the property. I'm like, you need to see this property. And he's like, thanks. And he went by there and we checked it out. It went under contract because it's in St. Elmo. So St. Elmo selling. It went under contract before we could make an offer on it. But it happens. You know, you're in a property and you send it to another buyer.
Agents are just so well connected. It's just quicker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like one showing got you 2 potential buyers as opposed to one showing where the buyers may not be vetted as well. They may not be able to buy. Sometimes they're lying. They're just curious and they just want to see the property.
Yes, and we're really good at weeding that out.
Yeah.
If you're selling it yourself and somebody calls, it may just be the neighbor down the road going, oh, you know what? They've got that house listed for. Oh, did you see the wallpaper in that bathroom? Mm-hmm. It's just the nosy neighbor, or
everybody's got one.
You know, where a real estate agent is going to weed that out. If I've got the neighbor calling on the phone, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to bring them in your house because I know they're not serious. Where you may think they're serious, but really they just want to know why you're selling or what color your bathroom is.
Yeah. And they're just curious. It's human nature to be curious. So, but we do try to weed that out. We make sure the buyers are ready to go.
And that saves you time and hassle because you really don't want the nosy neighbors in your house anyways because they're not selling your house.
So that kind of goes straight into number 7. We've got a good flow going on here. There's no one looking out for the homeowners who sell their own home. When you are listed with an agent, we're looking out for you. We're making sure you're not wasting your time. We're negotiating on your behalf in deals. We've seen other deals, so we know how to handle certain situations where for a lot of people, this is their first time selling a home and they may not know how to negotiate very well. Where we do this several times a week and can handle the situation a little bit better.
And something else I've noticed too is if they find a cousin or an aunt that wants to buy the property, they have a hard time being firm on the price and being firm on the terms, where the agent can kind of be that buffer and say, hey, no, this is the price. These are the terms.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. Or sometimes you're more sensitive if it's, oh, I work with them, or, oh, it's my aunt. You know, the agent can kind of be that buffer and kind of be strong.
And that's why you need an agent. Buying a house can be a little bit contradictory at sometimes. Sometimes it's purely an emotional decision. You walk into this house, you love it, and you want to buy it, even though it's the opposite of everything you've been saying that you want in a home, which has happened to me before with a buyer. So it's an emotional decision, but then an agent can step in during the negotiations and make sure it's a logical process and there's not emotions handling that deal. So that's where an agent can help you get to a certain point in the contract that's more financially reasonable
for you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're about to go to a break, but when we come back, we're going to finish the rest of the 11 reasons why you need to list your house with an agent and why it's just dangerous to list by yourself. So stay tuned. Real Estate Roundtable with Andrea and Becca.
Bye.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Shane Wilson makes music to get your house sold. Get traffic to your house. Get calls. Strum up a bit of demand. One offer, just one. If it's right, it's all you need. We riff you through the usual tedium. Pre-qualified? Financing? We help you get it all together. $. Here's a symbol we like. Shane Wilson with RE/MAX Select Realty, your real estate rock star. PickShane.com, 635-7779.
Window Depot of Chattanooga. They're locally owned and operated and been around since 2008. Installing top quality vinyl replacement windows. You get the best price and service in the area. Top quality double pane, energy efficient windows. They look great and save you money.
Oh, I love to save money.
You'll also save money on your heating and cooling costs. Call 894-0011. 894-0011. WindowDepotChattanooga.com. Window Depot, Chattanooga.com. Sales and installation professionals. You'll get a fantastic job while helping to enhance the value, appearance, comfort, and efficiency of your most valuable asset, your home. Other window providers? No way. Window Depot, Chattanooga's windows qualify for the TVA rebate. Sliding doors, gutters, soffits, fascia, garage doors, and other home improvements. If you want to save a ton, call 894-0011. Window Depot, Chattanooga.com. Window Depot, Chattanooga.com. Window Depot of Chattanooga. Sales and installation professionals.
Nooga Radio, AM 1240, 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's news now.
The stabbing in Bradley County led to a brief manhunt for Russell Thurkildston, who reports say ran out of the house after a stabbing was reported to 911 in Bradley County. The victim, a 53-year-old, was found dead inside a home. The victim of a shooting who refused to testify against his alleged shooter pleaded guilty to federal gun charges in court and will be sentenced on August the 11th by Judge Travis McDonough. The police believe the victim, Marcel Christopher, refused to testify because of gang-related issues. One candidate has dropped out of the race for county superintendent of schools. The school board has been interviewing people over Skype every Monday, starting at 5 p.m. Next week, they'll interview 3 more. The week after that, 3 more. So far, Natasha Baker and Stuart Greenberg have been interviewed. A third would have been, but he dropped out. The Tennessee Senate has approved a $37.1 billion spending budget. It'll be heading for the governor's desk for signing. That's Nooga Radio News Now. Russell Stroud reporting.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
We've got lots of sunshine and warmer weather out there through your afternoon. Still very nice, though. Highs 83 to 85 tonight. Mostly clear, mild, lows 58 to 60. For the midweek, continued quite warm and mainly dry through Thursday with highs each day 85 to 87. Check out JCPenney and give Mom a card bundle to Sephora inside JCPenney, the salon, and to shop around the store. A $60 value for just $50. That's getting your pennies worth at JCPenney. And I'm Summer Machine 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr. On Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree. Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nooga Radio, AM 1240, 92.7 FM, and 95.3 HD4. News, talk, sports. Nooga Radio.
Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. It's me, Andrea, and Becca, from the Shane Wilson Remax Wood Realty team, and we are your hosts today for Real Estate Roundtable. And just to kind of recap, we've been talking about the 11 reasons why not to sell your house for sale by owner. I'm going to let Becca recap what we've already talked about.
Okay, so we've covered 7 points so far. I think
Yes.
so. So, number 1, scams happen
Especially on Craigslist.
Especially on Craigslist. Sorry, Craigslist. But especially on Craigslist. So don't send anybody money without seeing the property. All right.
Avoid 1-800 numbers.
Yes. So number 2, liability is more likely for the seller. Not only like injury liability, but doing the paperwork incorrectly can cause you to lose out on some money, can cause the contract to fall through. You know, people have been sued before. So.
And we, as agents, have errors and omissions insurance.
Mhm.
So we're protected. Plus, we do it daily, so we know what we're doing.
Yeah. Paperwork is daunting. Again, we do this daily. And there's...
Every day.
Every day. And, you know, it used to be 3 papers to buy a house. Now it's a minimum of 10. A minimum. And that's the purchase agreement. And then you have disclosures, addendums, amendments if something changes, which they often do throughout the contract process. We know how to handle all of that. Every bump in the road we can navigate. All right. Sellers can get stuck in a bad deal. Usually it's selling your house for less than what it's actually worth because it was priced too high initially. It's been on the market for a really long time. Or a buyer makes a lowball offer, but you don't know the market well enough and you think it's reasonable. All this has happened, and we can let you know, we can educate you, and knowledge is power. So you know more of what's going on. You know what your house is worth, and so you don't fall into these traps. Again, for sale by owners tend to sell for less. They all kind of work together. It's been on the market too long. You're getting frustrated. You're getting annoyed. You're tired of having these people walk through your house. You're tired of trying to keep it clean and ready to sell. So you accept an offer and you're ready to be done with it, but you could have gotten $50,000 more.
$50,000 is a lot of money.
It is. Even $10,000 is a lot of money.
So because you're trying to save 6% on the sale, don't lose out on 12% because you're trying to save 6%.
For sale by owners spend more time on the market. We have access to the MLS system. We can advertise it to thousands of realtors at one time.
They all have buyers.
And they all have multiple buyers. So, one showing could get you 2 potential buyers, where if you don't have it advertised, it could not be shown a lot. Or you could have buyers who aren't pre-approved, can't get pre-approved for a loan, aren't actually interested, just curious about your property. Yeah, it's a whole mess of things.
We weed all of those out for you.
FSBOs don't have somebody looking out for them. We'll look out for you. We'll make sure your buyers are pre-approved. We'll make sure the house is being treated properly. We'll make sure that it's secured after showings. We'll do all this other stuff, and we'll negotiate for you in deals. We'll make sure you're getting the best price possible.
Because we're paid on commission too. We want you to get the most money.
Yeah, we want it to work out best for everybody. Because if it falls through, we don't get paid.
Exactly.
So we want everybody to be happy. I think that was the 0.7. That was 0.7. That's what we ended with.
So we're going to move on right into number 8. Are you ready, Becca?
Yes.
Number 8.
I love inspections. I hate inspections, but I love inspections.
I hate them.
I know. She's looking at me, y'all. She's looking at me like, who is this crazy girl I work with?
Hate home inspections. But go ahead, Becca.
Okay.
I'll put in my negative 2 cents.
Okay. So I love home inspections because knowledge is power. About, there's no outlet cover. What does this mean for what's behind the walls? I mean, it's beneficial for sellers and buyers to know the true condition of the home. So if sellers know the true condition of the home, they can market it as is. Like, I'm straight up not going to do anything to this property. I want to sell it. I want to be done. Preemptively fix things that aren't a huge issue, but that might deter buyers. Like, I don't know, putting outlet covers on, or, fixing a broken glass window. So you can get that done, and that's kind of stuff you want to do when you're ready to sell your home anyways. But sellers who don't know the rules about home inspections, because buyers usually do get them, especially in Chattanooga. I know in Dalton it's a little less.
In Dalton it's a little less. We don't push it as much, and it's not required in Georgia, and we don't really push it as much, but it is a lot less than in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Where in Chattanooga, I kind of see like it's just like standard.
It is. The only time that my buyers haven't gotten a home inspection is when we had an investor who was buying cash, and he was going to gut the property anyways. He was going to tear out everything and put all new things. There's one property where he was contemplating leveling the home. And just building a new one. So in situations like that, obviously don't get a home inspection because it's not going to matter. But in Tennessee, it's standard. Every buyer gets a home inspection to know what's going on. And if you're a seller and your buyer gets one and you don't know that you have the right to refuse some repairs, they may ask you to do a whole bunch of stuff, and you lose money. You fix those things and get it done. And
sometimes it's silly stuff that won't hold up a loan. It's just kind of nitpicky, silly stuff. But sometimes for the buyer, in the buyer's defense, sometimes it's something serious that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's nitpicky, silly stuff that can cost you thousands that you just don't need to spend.
Yeah, and sometimes buyers will request things for their loan, especially if it's an FHA. There's a bunch of stuff that's required for the house to be in a certain condition. For the loan to be approved. So in those situations, the sellers usually are willing to work with the buyers. But let's say your house needs a new roof. All right, and the house we just closed on last week needed a new roof, and we negotiated with the sellers. The buyer paid for some of it, and the seller paid for some of it, and it was totaled out at closing. But if you're a seller, you don't know that you can ask the buyer to split the cost with you. You may have paid for a whole new roof where you didn't need to. And we ended up counteracting the price of the new roof a little bit in the sales price. So, the sellers paid out a little bit more. We raised the price a little bit. But if you're a seller, necessarily. You don't know if you can raise the price after you've gone under contract to counteract the cost of some of these repairs.
And that's just another reason why you need an agent. It's just there's so much knowledge that we have because we run into these crazy situations all the time that are fixable.
And that was just one of the solutions. There's 3 other solutions we could have done to handle the issue of that old roof because it was about to leak.
Let me tell you about a crazy situation. Shane is really going to appreciate this one. We ran into the absolutely craziest situation that I, in all my years of real estate experience, have never, ever run into. I have worked with Shane in real estate for 8 years as his sidekick for 8 years, and neither of us have ever run into this. So we have a house in the lovely, lovely city of Varnell that is next to a gas station. We have it under contract, and it wouldn't go FHA and it wouldn't go USDA. We switched the loan like, oh, it won't go USDA. We'll just switch it. Everything goes FHA. We're going to make it go FHA. We're going through the whole process. And really another thing that's unique about your agent is your agent will stay with you during the loan process and make sure everything's going good. So we get a call from the loan officer that's like, how close are those gas pumps? I don't know. We'll go measure it. Okay, cool. They're far enough away. Wait a minute. How far away are those gas pumps? I don't know. So that's more that we have to measure. So anyways, to make a long story short, if there is gas tanks underground within 1,000 feet of your property, they will not go FHA. It will not go USDA. But what we did find out, and it's going to help our buyer, is it will go conventional. So that's just something having an agent with you and work with you that will, not only did we want this house to close, but we were calling everybody in town to figure out how to finance this dang thing. And we had to switch the loan type. We had to move some stuff around. But because we're the agent that's fighting for this and we have these resources that we can call to figure these things out, we did find a way for this house to be sold and for this house to be financed. And that's just something, if you're trying to sell it on your own, you could be very discouraged with like, oh, it won't go FHA. Well, what do we do? Well, it won't go USDA. What do we do? You don't know to reach out to these people to try to get this creative financing, if you will. A regular homeowner may have just given up and rented it or just
or try to sell it cash, or drop the price.
Exactly, where we were able to not drop the price. We're able to get this property moved and move it successfully. So that's just something having an agent really helps with because, we were putting our heads together. We were working with loan officers. We were working with the EPA. How can we get this dang thing sold and done? And that's just something you're not going to do if you don't have an agent.
And that, I've never heard of that. I know a lot of the FHA regulations.
Now you know a new one. Now you
never would have thought about a gas station being an issue.
It's not the gas station that's the issue. It's the underground pumps. It's the unseen issue.
It's where the gasoline is stored.
Yes.
It's interesting. And that's something that helps with a real estate agent. If we don't know the answer, we know 5 people who do. We know 5 people we can call who can get us the answer, who will know the answer. We have those attorney connections, those title company connections, those other realtor connections where we've built a network of people, of information. So, we
may not know the answer, but we're going to call around till we get it.
Yeah. So, and we can get that for you and we can help with that research and let you know what information is accurate, which information is not. Okay. So next point. We've kind of touched on this a little bit already, but it's always worth repeating. Marketing is limited when you have a for sale by owner. You're probably putting it up on Zillow, probably putting it up on Trulia, maybe.
You could be running a very expensive newspaper ad.
Yeah, don't advertise homes in newspapers. Don't do it. Sorry, newspapers. Maybe you post a couple of pictures on
your Facebook page, share it with your friends,
let your family know.
Tag people in it.
Yes. But if you sell with the Shane Wilson team specifically
with us,
we put it everywhere. Now, we do put it on Facebook, but we don't just put it on Facebook. We pay for ads so that it reaches a target market. Because, certain homes kind of will attract certain buyers. And we have the statistics to know where to put our money. We're not just throwing money at Facebook. We're doing certain demographics so that it will reach the most likely buyer. We're putting it up on Zillow and Trulia because people go there, despite the fact that we're like, it's not accurate. Don't go on there.
Y'all are still going.
Yeah, the people are still searching on there. So
we're just putting it where the eyes are.
So we put it on Zillow. We put it on our MLS, which is a big thing because it's where the realtors are. It's where the realtors with multiple buyers are. And then the MLS feeds to realtor.com. So it's on realtor.com.
If you're going to use, just a side note, if you're going to get online and search for your own properties, use realtor.com.
Yes, that is
Please
updated.
Stop using Zillow.
It is updated every 15 minutes. It is connected with our MLS system. It is more accurate. I had my buyers text me last night, hey, we found some properties on realtor.com. We'd like to see them.
I bet you're like, yay, it's not Zillow.
It's not Zillow, because if they had, hey, we found some properties on Zillow, I'm like, automatically half the homes they're sending me I know aren't going to be available.
Yeah.
Whereas they sent me like 4 or 5 properties on realtor.com, all still available. All still for sale because realtor.com is updated every 15 minutes. So
just a side note, getting off a little, if you're going to do your own homework, your own research, stop using Zillow, stop using Trulia, and use realtor.com.
Hopefully Zillow and Trulia don't get mad at us.
Whatever.
But actually Zillow and Trulia are the same thing. Zillow owns Trulia. They're the same site. So
I bet you didn't know that when you go from one website to the other.
They're the same site. They're owned
by... See how much your realtors are already educating you?
Yeah. So if you call us on Trulia, it's a Zillow answering service that helps you. They'll say they're from Trulia. They'll say they're from Zillow because they know which site you're on, but no, it's the same site. So don't worry about it. So marketing is limited. We do all of this. And we also have buyers in pocket. Like, oh, we're listing this house. We may have a buyer for you.
Okay, this is no joke. No joke. Shane got a house. This was last year. Shane listed a house. He had it listed for like maybe 1 or 2 days. We'd already put the sign up, the lockbox. 1 or 2 days. I don't even know if we had sent our photographer out there. I don't think we ever sent. We never sent the photographer out there.
Okay.
We weren't that far into the process. And I just happened to be at the office. A lady comes in. She's from out of town. She's got cash, which is really rare. She's got cash, and she's like, here's what I'm looking for. Here's the neighborhood I want to be in. I'm like, I take her to that house. We go in the house for maybe 15, 20 minutes. She does a little bit of measuring. She makes a few phone calls. We leave the house. An hour later, we do the contract. We close 10 days later.
Yeah.
So literally, the house was on the market 3. We closed 10 days later. It took the guy 13 days to sell his house because we already had a buyer. The house never was on Zillow. The house was never on Trulia because we already just had the buyer. I mean, it's just connections. It's just contacts.
Yeah, and we have the office. So people who are looking, who don't want to look, they'll contact us and we can recommend listings to them.
And let me tell you, they're walking in even if they don't know what they want, they're walking in.
Mm-hmm. They're walking in because they're curious. They have questions. They don't understand the process. And that's why we're here, is to help people through the process. So we have a large network of more than just our family and friends to send this house to specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So their marketing is just so much more. Let's see. This one said, so for sale by owners typically show 42% or rely 42% on the sign in the yard, 32% on family and friends, and about 15% on social media.
See, we have so much more.
We're like 80% online, I think. Yeah. And then every once in a while we'll get a call in from the sign in the yard. And then
it's very rare.
I've gotten a couple of calls from signs, but it's rare.
It's usually just the nosy neighbor on the
yeah.
sign.
And sometimes it's helpful. Like I've called because for some whatever reason, the house, because when you do search for properties, you have a minimum and a maximum budget. Maybe that house was like $1,000 below the minimum budget, and it didn't pop up on our search. But we're driving around, and I call, and there's a sign in the yard, and I call, and I see it, and it's vacant. We go check it out. So that happens. It's there's no perfect search, but we have the resources to, one, I could look up that house and see if it was still available.
And she can look it up and tell you the details.
Yeah, I could look up, my buyers are like, what about that house? Pulled it up on my phone, pulled it up in the MLS. It was definitely still available. I could look up the square footage. I could look up how long it's been on the market. I could look up if there's been price drops. I could see
Property taxes.
how long that person has owned that house. I could pull up interior photos before we called and bothered the agent to see if they wanted to look at it. And so signs help. So there, maybe a 1% from signs. And then, but most of our stuff is online. And then another, 5% from buyers we already know, and we just send the house to them and recommend it. So we definitely have much more advertisement ability.
So moving on to number 10, hidden costs that add up.
Ooh, there are a lot.
So you think you're saving money by not using a realtor.
You think.
You think. But guess what? You're not. You're paying extra because you're doing signage. You're doing extra because you're doing your own attorney's fees, which, you're going to kind of do those anyways. Plus, something you have to do that you're not thinking about is you have to pre-qualify this buyer if they don't call you already with the loan. So how do you do that? Are you going to run their credit? Are you going to get them with the lender? What are you going to do? Plus, if you are selling it yourself, you have to buy your own lockbox. You have to buy your own signs. You have to pay for your own marketing. Where if you hire a realtor, the 6% you pay the realtor is for the marketing, for the sign, for our contacts, for our connections. That's what the 6% goes to.
And we do a lot of work that you don't necessarily see. Like, we're not going to tell you about every buyer we turn down from viewing the property because they're not qualified.
Because we don't want to waste your time.
No. So you're paying us to take some of that burden off of you. We chase after the buyers for feedback if they don't respond. We show it. We meet with buyers. We make sure they're pre-qualified. If they're not, we get them in touch with a lender before we show the property. There's a lot that it's not necessarily seen. We do try to update our sellers. What are the showings? What is the feedback?
What's the feedback?
How many views are they getting online? So what's going on. Like, we update our sellers. But there's a lot of the stuff behind the scenes that saves you time. And time is money that you don't necessarily see. We drive out there once a week, make sure the sign's still up in the yard, make sure that if you're out of town, you've already moved, you're not there, there's somebody checking on your property on a regular basis.
Just to make sure it's okay.
Yeah. So
and that goes into number 11 where time costs the seller money. The longer it's on the market, the more money you're spending.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, but it's worth reiterating. Property taxes, utilities,
the mortgage,
insurance,
the upkeep. You're having to constantly cut the grass. If you're out of town, you're having to send somebody to cut the grass, and that all costs you money. And there's something I wanted to bring up in our closing that wasn't in this 11 reasons why not to sell for sale by owner. The number one reason to me, and I was really shocked that this didn't make the list. And this will probably be you'll probably like this too, Becca, is safety. You are inviting someone you don't know into your home. That's so scary. That is so scary for somebody to call you and say, I'm interested in buying your home. And you're there and you say, oh, sure, come in an hour. You don't know this person from Adam. So if you're using a real estate agent, it's a safety buffer because we're going to weed out the crazies. Because guess what? If I've got a bad feeling on them, they're not getting in my car. They're not coming in my office. Nothing. But we know our buyers. Not only do we know their names, we've got their credit report. We've got their social security number. We've got a copy of their driver's license. We know this person, and we're taking them into your home. So we're not going to steal from you. We're not going to invade your home and do anything weird or anything unsafe. Where the agent is just kind of that security buffer. Don't you?
Yeah, and it's also like lockboxes the same way. Like, let's say you're out of town, you're trying to do a for sale by owner. Somebody calls you, like, "Hey, I'm interested in your property." Well, you have a lockbox on the property. Great, you give them the code. They now have that code forever. They know that code. Or like, great, I've hidden the key here. They now know where that key is hidden. Where we have what's called a super lockbox. We have an app on our phone that lets us into the lockbox. We have our own personal 4-digit code that lets us in. So every time...
So you know what agent's been in your home.
So every time we open up a lockbox, it sends a report to the list agent. Like Becca Clements with Remax has just opened the lockbox to your property. And it's like, oh, this person didn't have a showing. Why are they there? Like, you can call them and find out what's going on. Or you can call them saying, hey, can I get some feedback from you? So, but the buyer doesn't have that code. They don't have that app. They can't get into that lockbox. Even if they've seen an agent do it 100 times, you need a license to have that app. Mm-hmm. So it's secured through the association. Or if there's a lockbox code, realtors don't give their buyers that code. They don't know what it is.
So it's just really, I was really surprised it didn't make the top 11. But to me, safety should have been number one.
Yeah, it's much safer. We definitely have more information on the buyer other than their name and phone number.
So you know who's going into your home.
And we have a lot of security procedures. Like if I feel unsafe, I let Shane or Andrea or somebody.
If I feel unsafe, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah. Or if I am going to a less than safe area, I'll let people know where I am.
Exactly.
We have security nets. Or if like Shane or Andrea doesn't hear from me for 24 hours, they're going to be worried because we talk every day about work. So we have more of a security net when we're showing and selling homes.
So just to recap, we have better resources. It's safer to sell with a realtor. So make sure if you're ready to sell, you contact me or Becca with the Shane Wilson RE/MAX Select Realty team. Look us up on Facebook. Call our office. We look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Shane Wilson makes music to get your house sold. Get traffic to your house. Get calls. Strum up a bit of demand. One offer, just one. If it's right, it's all you need. We riff you through the usual tedium. Pre-qualified? Financing? We help you get it all together. $. Here's a symbol we like. Shane Wilson with RE/MAX Select Realty, your real estate rock star. PickShane.com, 635-7779.
When my brother and I opened the first Jets Pizza, we believed if we made the best pizza, customers would find us. So we made fresh dough each day, used fresh toppings, and premium mozzarella cheese. 300 plus stores later, we still do.
Try Jet's famous 8-corner pizza with premium mozzarella cheese and one topping, now just $11.99 for a limited time only. Jet's Pizza, the best pizza in town. 3600 Hickson Pike.
Life is short. Eat better pizza.
Let's get Jets.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk.